Hey, what's famous? Your girl Bella. Welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new here, my name is Isabella and I post lifestyle content catered towards women who are navigating their life in their 20s. Today's video is no different. Today we're going to be talking about 10 hard truths that every 20-something-year-old should learn. Starting with number one, which is easily the most important truth, is financial responsibility and learning the importance of budgeting, saving, and money management. So as an adult, you have lots of responsibilities. You have rent to pay, utilities, maybe a car insurance, car note, health insurance, phone bill, not to mention that you have to feed yourself, you have to have fun with your friends. There are just so many different areas where your money is being pulled towards. And this is just if you're an adult who's single, not even including if you're an adult who has a spouse or has kids or has pets. Like, there are so many areas where your money is being pulled towards. So budgeting, saving, and money management are probably the most important things you have to learn in your 20-somethings. I live by the rule of paying yourself first, which means that when I get paid, I first put aside the money I need for my bills, so rent, utilities. Thankfully, my parents still do help me a bit, so they do pay like my car note and my car insurance, and I'm still underneath them for my health insurance. But for my other bills such as rent, utilities, things of that nature, I put that money aside first, so I know that I have that secured. And then whatever amount that I want to save or invest for the month, I put aside also. Whatever is left is the money that I decide to spend, and I am a budgeter, so I do like to budget on a monthly basis. It just works for me personally, especially when I was first coming out of college and I started working a little less than 2 years ago. I didn't really know how the difference of being a college student who was making minimum wage to being a corporate baddie who's making a full-time salary, how that difference would look. So budgeting has always worked for me. If you want me to share a video on how I budget my paychecks, definitely comment down below and let me know, and I can definitely do that for you all as well. But it's very important to learn these tips as you navigate your 20s. Growing up, my dad would always say that we should do number one, which is do the right thing first, which simply means do what you need to do. That way you can do what you want to do. Because if you don't do what you need to do, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. For example, if you get paid and you're using your money to go out or go shopping or have fun with friends and you haven't put aside money for rent, you might be short on rent. Or maybe you have put aside money for rent, but you decide that before you save any money, you're going to have fun and do whatever and put whatever money's left over into your savings. If you adopt that strategy, you're not going to save a lot of money. It's better to save your money first and use whatever is left versus spending your money and saving what's left, if that makes sense. So that's the first hard truth that everyone in their 20s should definitely learn. The next hard truth is time management and learning to prioritize your time. So most adults work a full-time job, which is roughly 40 hours a week, and a full-time job can be a 9 to 5, an 8 to 6, 12-hour shifts if you're working at a hospital or just doing shift work. When you work can be a little bit different, but for the most part, most adults are working 40 hours a week. So when you work 40 hours a week and then you sleep, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours a night, that leaves very little time for you to focus on yourself, whether that's working out, whether that's hanging out with friends, building your business, whatever it may be. So time management becomes even more important as an adult. I think time management is really first stressed when you're in college, but as an adult, it becomes even more important. So for me personally, I work from 8 to 5. I work a corporate job Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. And so I try my best to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. I fail sometimes, but I try to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, get a workout in, do my Bible reading, catch up on the news, listen to Darren Daily, just do things that will help feed myself. That way I can go to the 8 to 5 work day and then come back home and hopefully still have some time to myself also. But I do know that if I don't wake up early, that period between like 5 and 10 o'clock, it's only 5 hours, and I might not be able to do a whole lot in that time because I'm probably tired from work. So me personally, I'm not going to feel like working out. I'm not going to feel like doing a devotional. Like, I'm not going to feel like doing those things. Not to mention that I also have a YouTube channel, which I need to focus on, and I usually focus on that after work. So what I'm trying to say is I try to utilize as much time as I can during the day. And I do have a productive 5 a.m. morning routine, which I will link down below and in the cards. You can watch that after this video. But I think it's really important to wake up early, try to give time back to yourself, and try to also use the time after work in a meaningful way as well. Of course, you do have the weekends. You have Saturday and Sunday off. Most of us like to spend our weekends hanging out with friends, maybe cleaning the house, cooking, doing whatever. We have to know that there is a trade-off in everything that we do. So let's say every single weekend you hang out with friends and you party and you go out. If you're trying to, let's say, build a business or a side hustle or whatever, the time you're spending going out is taken away from your side hustle or the business that you're building. So learning to really balance out your time and what's important to you you is a very hard truth that you have to learn in your 20s. The third hard truth is career realities and knowing that your career is not a linear path and it may be a lot more complex to find a career that's fulfilling to you. I'm a perfect example of this. I have been working for a little under 2 years now. Well, working a corporate job for a little under 2 years now. And I studied finance in school. I currently work in finance, and about 8 months into working in finance, I realized that I don't want to work in finance. I'm currently trying to pursue a career in the tech space, and since I want to pivot career fields kind of drastically, I'm having to look at what my options are. Do I need to go back to school? Do I do a boot camp? Do I just take classes online? What is it going to take for me to switch from analytical finance role to a technical tech role? Like, what's that going to take for me? And even if you're not trying to switch careers, maybe you're just trying to get a promotion, maybe you're trying to, I don't know, like whatever it is you're trying to do, it's usually not a straight path. Usually there's a lot of lateral movement. There is some turning around, some starting over before you really get to where you want to be in your career. So it's important to be patient, but also be resilient and advocate for yourself for the career that you do want. Take those steps that you need, but be patient with the process, because most people do not love their career straight out of college. Most people do not land the job of their dreams. Some people do. Shout out to my friend Bailey. But that is few and far between. So if you're in a career or in a job that you don't love or that you don't enjoy, is not fulfilling to you, and you want to pivot in some way, put the work in, of course, but also be patient and know that these things take time. The fourth hard truth is regarding health and wellness, and making sure that taking care of your physical and mental health is a top priority. So as adults, physical health, mental health, and even spiritual health are really up to you and what you decide that they're going to be. Growing up, I always played sports. I played sports from the time I was in first grade until the time I was in high school. And so I was very active. In college, I didn't play any sports, but I went to Ohio State, which is a huge campus. So I was constantly walking around. Now I'm working as a full-time adult. I sit at a desk for 8 to 9 hours a day, and then I edit videos and sit at a desk for even longer. So I really have to be intentional about being active and moving my body. Also, when it comes to mental health, I have to be intentional about what I'm feeding my mind, the relationships that I have, if those are feeding me in a positive way, if those are helping me or hindering me. And then also spiritual health. When you're an adult, if you grew up in the church or in any religion, sometimes we believe in our faith because our parents do, you know? So as an adult, no one's forcing you to go to church or to read your Bible or to do whatever it is spiritually. So as an adult, it becomes really important to develop your own faith, your own belief system, because it's all on you at that point. No one can make you do anything. And so having a healthy physical, mental, and spiritual relationship is very important as you become an adult. The fifth hard truth is all about relationships and knowing that not all friendships last forever, and also not all friendships need to be watered the same way. I'm someone who's a strong believer in quality over quantity. I've never really been someone who's had really big friend groups. I'm a very friendly person, but for me to call someone my friend, it's just like, we gotta be here, we gotta be here. But as we grow older, we realize that we all have very busy lives. Your friends are going through the same thing you're going through with careers, relationships, living on their own, everything, you know? And different relationships will need to be watered in different ways. There are some friends who you talk to on a monthly basis. Some you catch up with every week, every day, every quarter. Like, it just depends on that friendship. I feel like I'm in a really great position where none of my friends ever expect too much from me. I definitely make sure to keep up with my friends, but I have some friends who I talk to every few months, some I talk to more on a daily, more on a weekly, and none of my friends ever get upset about that because I feel like they all know that I'm busy and also they're busy. It's not like being in college where you see your friends all the time or where you have just more free time. Obviously, like as an adult, you have free time too, but the way that time is used is a lot different. So making sure that you know that not all friendships last forever and that friendships need to be watered differently depending on who the friend is, and also just the reality of making friends as an adult. I actually have an entire video on how to make friends as an adult. I'll link that down below if you are interested in watching that video. And if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to subscribe because I do post content like this often. Continuing with friendships, another relationship that's important are those with your family. So as you're getting older, so is everyone else around you. Your parents are getting older, grandparents, siblings, aunts and uncles. And so I feel like as an adult, my relationship with my family, especially my parents, has become more and more important because I want to just make sure I'm always staying in touch with them. I live in a whole different state than my parents do, so I have to be very intentional with staying in touch, being in contact, because as you get get older, so does everyone else, and you don't want to miss out on any beautiful moments with your loved ones. And as you get older, just cherishing those relationships becomes more and more important, I think. The sixth hard truth is failure and rejection, and knowing that it is okay to fail, and that is part of your success journey. If you don't fail at anything, you'll never be able to grow. Failure is just part of life. The same way winning is. You have to fail at some areas because it helps you to learn, reevaluate, and do better. As long as failures don't bring you down, then they will be a part of your story and what helps you to become a better adult, a better person, and even help other people when they're going through similar ordeals. The seventh hard truth is the beauty of independence and all the responsibilities that come with being in your 20-somethings. So most 20-something-year-olds live on their own, or they may have a roommate or a spouse. When I first moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, almost 2 years ago, I lived alone. Now I do have a roommate, but even with a roommate, the responsibility is pretty much the same. Like, it doesn't really change. As I mentioned before, there are so many things that you may spend your money on, including rent, utilities, insurance, food you eat, having fun with friends, saving, investing, 401k. There are so many areas where your money has to go. And as an independent adult, you have to know how to bucket your earnings accordingly so that you still have money for having fun, but also for rainy days and investing in your future. These topics have already been mentioned, but when you're independent, you're also in control of your relationships. You're in control of your career. You're in control of your faith and all how you practice that. Literally every single thing that your parents were once in charge of or used to share with someone else is really up to you now, and you really craft your life the way that you want it to be. And at any moment, you can always feel free to pivot, to start over. Like, it's really never too late. So learning independence and really embracing it as an adult in your 20s is something that you absolutely have to learn. And if you don't learn it, child, you will learn it. Like, you really have no choice. You're going to have to learn that in your 20s if you want to be successful. The eighth hard truth is that you are constantly going to have to learn. Whether you're learning through your environment, through your job, furthering your education, taking courses on Udemy or ClassPass, no matter what it is, you should continuously be learning. Just because you're not in school does not mean you should not continue to learn. A wise man once said, you should learn something every single day. I can literally tell y'all what I learned today. Today, Spectrum came and changed my Wi-Fi, and I learned that my router should not be placed in an aluminum box, which is where the first Spectrum employee placed my router at. Today I learned it should not be in the box because when it's in there, I don't get good service. See, a small little thing that I learned today. But no, seriously, every single day we should be learning something new. I feel like if you're a curious person, then you will always learn something, whether it's from other people or through more formal resources. And also remember that you can learn from anyone. Like, you can learn from a child, literally. You can learn from anyone. Being curious and open-minded and being willing to constantly learn is a truth that you're going to have to become familiar with as an adult and embrace fully. Next, the ninth hard truth is the importance of setting boundaries and being okay with saying no. Me personally, I love to say no. Like, especially in this period of time that I'm in, I feel like in the summer I had like so much fun. Like, I can't even lie to y'all. I had a ball. I had a ball with my friends. My roommate and I were constantly having guests come in from out of town because we're both from outside of Charlotte. Like, we had a ball. We had a ball this summer. But now that we are approaching fall, you guys may even be seeing this video in the fall depending on when I post it. But now that we are out of summertime into the fall, I'm really trying to buckle down and focus on my goals, which are social media related, physical health related, money related. Like, all of my goals I'm trying to buckle down and focus on. So I don't say yes every time someone asks me to hang out. I don't say yes every single time someone asks me to do this or do that. I say no all the time. You really can't say yes all the time, because when you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. So whenever I do say yes, I think about the trade-off. I consider if I've accomplished what I need to do and therefore I'm able to do what I want to do. If I haven't, I say no, honestly. And I feel like that's a very important thing that you have to learn in your 20s. Honestly, it's something that I'm still learning, and as you get older, you continue to get better and better at it, and the more you say no, the easier it becomes. Like, literally no one's gonna be offended if you're not at the club or you're not at the party or you're not at the kickback. Like, a bunch of other people are there. They're gonna be focused on themselves and the fact that they're there. If you're there, sure, it'll be great, it'll be fun, but the world is not going to stop. It's not going to end because you're not at the function, okay? So be okay with saying no and prioritizing yourself in your 20s. And the last and final truth that you have to learn in your 20-somethings is that life isn't fair. I know it's such a cliche saying, but life is not fair. Bad things things happen to good people and vice versa. But something that I learned from the CFO at my company is that you have to be resilient. He said that resilience is the one thing that has really pushed him to where he is at his career currently. So whether it's getting declined for a job you really wanted, a relationship that you really cared about ending, losing someone important to you, life is not fair. But the truth is, life does go on. And whether you decide to be stuck in a place of rejection or power forward with the resilience is up to you. Life will never be fair. You will never always get the outcome that you want when you want it. I really believe that everything happens in God's time, and God never says no. Like, he either says yes or he says no, I have something better, or he says wait. That's how I always think of life. Like, whenever I hear a rejection, of course I do get a little bit sad and maybe my feelings, but I always know that it's because something better is coming for me. And I feel like that attitude has and will continue to guide me in my success and in my future with anything I decide to do. So that is the last and final hard truth, you guys. Let me know in the comments, what is the one hard truth that you've had to learn in your 20-somethings? It may be something that I already mentioned, it may be something new. I'm so curious. Let's get a conversation going down in the comment section. I'm so interested to know what you all have learned in your 20s. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I post lifestyle content 2 times a week. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.